How is everyone doing today?
Good, thank you.
Hi, David. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. If one of my city colleagues wouldn't, Lynette, are you co-host automatically?
It looks like she is, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
city team is co-host.
Okay, if those on my city team wouldn't mind letting folks in as they pop in so I can focus on presenting, I would really appreciate that. So what you're going to see today is just a first look of Canvas. And this isn't as much of a how-to as those of you saw this morning in the boot camp, but more of a general tour of Canvas from a faculty perspective, as well as a bit of the student view as well. If you have any questions or want to know how to do something that I'm showing you, I don't mind stopping and giving you a little tutorial. I don't mind doing that. And if you have any big questions about Canvas, if I can't help you, we have a lot of experienced people in the group today who'd be able to help you. Feel free to type questions in the chat. I have a bunch of city folks in this session today, which is great. I'm excited about that. And I'm sure that they are happy to answer your questions if I don't see your question or I can't get to your question. What I want to show you right now is a course that I copied over from Blackboard into Canvas. And I did this in the way of a simple export of a Blackboard course and an import of a Blackboard course into Canvas. It is really, really simple to do. If you go to our city YouTube page, pull that up really quickly. It's right here. We have a Canvas playlist, which is right here. It's going to grow over time, but in this Canvas playlist, you will see how to export a Blackboard 9 course into Canvas, the after effects of the export, and then how to adjust the import to fit the Rush template. So these videos are already available. So if you want to learn how to do that yourself, you're welcome to go and learn how to do that yourself. So this is what you see here is in the Canvas template. And I'll show you in a minute how it looks once it comes over. That's not what this session is about, but I do want you to be able to see it in case you're feeling some anxiety about transferring your course over, that it's probably not as scary as you think it is, okay? So Canvas has a homepage, which is what you see here. The homepage is customizable, and you have different options for choosing a homepage in Canvas, but the course template that we developed with Micah and the other instructional designers is really, really nice. So we have a course introduction. There's actually a banner up at the top. I just had issues turning this image into a banner, so I gave up. I'm gonna have to have someone help me do it because it just didn't work out how I wanted it to work out. Under that, we have a course introduction, and then we have links that remain static about where to post questions. So if the students click on this, they will be able to go right to a discussion forum where they will be able to ask a question. This goes to some resources, and this goes right into modules. Now this is a different image now. I'll have to fix that, Micah, because I copied this over before we changed the template to a better image. So students can use these links at any time during your course. Up here on the right-hand side, you will see a bunch of stuff. This is a faculty view. The edit button is on in all sorts of places in Canvas, and it does exactly that. That's what you click to be able to modify what you're seeing. These 3 dots also show up in a lot of places. And what these 3 dots mean is they give you a menu of items. And what that menu of items varies depending on where you are. So if you see 3 dots, you know you can always click them and see what you can modify or what's going on with that particular page. On the right here, this is where you publish your course. And it's nice, it's right at the top. So by default, your course is not going to be published. This one is actually not published, but if I wanted to, all I would do is click this button and it would be published. I don't want to do that yet because I don't want it to be available anywhere because it's not complete yet. Right here is where you can choose what your homepage is, but we would really like faculty to try to use this as the homepage so that students have a very consistent experience regardless of what course they are joining. So when they log in and they see this page, it'll be maybe a different picture, it'll be a different title, it'll be a different introduction, but these will all be the same and the student will know what to expect, and that will make them feel very comfortable. Over here on the right, you can also access announcements and make announcements here. You can also make announcements there. It's the same, it leads you to the same place. Analytics is, the analytics in Canvas are very, very powerful. There's a lot of information you can get from analytics. Right now, I'm not going to have anything, this is not a live course, but you can actually get individual analytics about your students, how often they've logged in, what they've done when they've logged in, how long they've spent in the class. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate though, because like the student could log in and then go do something else and just leave the course open and the course student's really not active. But you can look at where they've clicked in a course. So for an example, I had a student years ago that I taught in Canvas, and the student said, I know I turned my assignment in. I don't understand why you don't see my assignment. I know I turned it in on Monday or whatever, she said. And so I went into analytics and I looked at the date that she said she was in the course, and she never clicked on the assignment. So she definitely did not submit that assignment because she didn't even click on it. And I was able to take a screenshot of that and show her, you weren't even in. And I also said, if you did the assignment, it would not show up in your to-do list, which as a student would show up here on the right-hand side. If they did the assignment would disappear. Okay, it says to do when you log in. And as for a faculty member, it would also have a to-do list for you as well, which is awesome because you know exactly, okay, it's awesome, but it's also frustrating because if you see so many things you have to grade waiting there for you, it can be like, oh my goodness, I have a busy week ahead of me, because it tells you have like 24 week 1 discussions to grade, you've got 24 introductions to grade, you've got 24 papers to grade, and those will all show up on your to-do list, which will be over here as well. So analytics is wonderful. That's not what this is about. We will have workshops that cover using analytics and that type of thing, but that's not for this. I just wanted you to know that it's over here. You can also import content from this main page. So if you brought something over from Blackboard, let's say from this class, but there was something I wanted to bring over from a different class I taught, you can do that. So not with this button, that's a different button, but this one, let's say you're teaching in Canvas and you're teaching GCC 620 in Canvas, but there's another course you have and you want to share that resource from a different course, that's what you can do. You can go grab that with using this button, import existing content. So it'll import from a different course. All right. On the left-hand side, this is the navigation. And this I with a cross through it means that students cannot see it. If I go into the student view, which is up here on the right-hand side all the time, this is the navigation that the students will see in this particular class. And this is where you see the to-do list. Okay? Canvas does not give faculty members a lot of places to put content. The content goes into modules. And that's it. That's the only place to put content, which makes it really, really easy for students and really, really easy for faculty because there's no guesswork. Modules is where the content goes. So as a student, if I click on modules, the modules will show up here. As a faculty member, you can choose a lot of things with regards to modules. I'm going to go back to the faculty view. The modules have options, and those options include setting up some prerequisites. So as you can see right here, this is already a prerequisite. The students have to open all of these items, okay, before they can see the first module. So at least I can't make them watch everything or view everything, okay, but they have to click it and open it. All right. You can set prerequisites for all of your modules if that's what you want to do. So for example, if you don't want your student to move on to the next module unless they get a passing score on the quiz, you can set that up if you want. It's pretty neat, actually. Modules can be collapsed by this little button here, which makes it a nice, well-organized view. So once the student is done with week one, they can collapse it so they don't have to see all of the stuff in week one. You can also rearrange modules very, very easily by these 8 dots that you see. When your mouse goes over it, it actually tells you, you can drag it to reorder it. So you just drag and drop to be able to reorder your content however you see fit. What I want to show you is what the module, what it looked like exactly when it came over from Blackboard. You can see this in the video that I showed you on our YouTube channel, but in case you're curious, starting with week 3, let's say starting with, which one looks really, really good? Here it is. Let's go to week 6. So this is what it looked like raw coming over from Blackboard. So it created some extra things that I didn't need, but if you can see, it didn't come over super messy. It even labeled them. It created modules from my Blackboard folders and labeled them appropriately. I don't even have to change the names, which is really awesome. And these icons here indicate what tool is used to create it. So this is called a page. This is a page. That's a discussion. This is an assignment, and this is also a page. So all I really have to do here is open this. It's being slow today. So this is nothing. I just delete it. What it was in Blackboard was just some text on the outside of my folder. And if I click this next button here, it goes to the agenda. And this is exactly what it looked like in Blackboard. Look, it even brought over the color, it brought over the font, it brought over the video, it brought over the links. So these are actual links to files. All of those are active and perfectly fine, came over just as they should. So all I really have to do is apply the template to this agenda and fix some of the extra stuff it brought over. So like the extra videos, you saw it says optional videos, those I would add, let me scroll back. Hopefully I'm not making you car sick. So this is optional videos I would add to the overview and that type of thing. But the discussions came over, the assignment came over. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel as a faculty member? Anyone care to speak or share? Well, Michelle says hopeful. Mary Beth says yay.
Feel good.
Great. Now, I can't promise that everyone's course is going to look like this when it comes over from Blackboard. It really depends on how you created your course in Blackboard. For mine, I used folders. And what Canvas did is Canvas took the folders and made the folders into their own modules. And that's exactly what I would want it to do. Everyone has access to the instructional designers. The instructional designers are amazing and they will help you. Okay, they will help you learn how to do this kind of thing. So let me show you modules, a little bit more about modules. So I want you to think about a module. So let me just create one real quick. I go to plus module. See, this is where the prerequisites are that I was telling you about. You can add the prerequisites here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add the module and it throws it at the bottom. Go all the way down to the bottom here. So when you create a module, it's just like creating a room, and the room is devoid of furniture, it's devoid of color, it's devoid of everything. There's nothing in it. So you have to add stuff to your module. Okay, so if you don't have any stuff created yet, you can't put anything in your module. So the stuff has to get created. And what I mean by stuff, I mean like pages. So let me go to up here so you can see what pages looks like. Pages are hidden from students and they should stay hidden from students because if you give them access to pages, it will overwhelm them. So when you click on pages, there's an extra step, which always frustrates me. I do not know why they don't just show all the pages by default, but they don't. So if you click view all pages, this is what the students would see. And it's not organized, it's messy. You don't want them to see that. The same thing with files, okay? But Pages is a beautiful tool. I love it. I love it so much because there's just so much that you can do on a page. Unlike Blackboard, you can put every single thing the student needs on one page. Everything. So you don't have to go to different places to add files or to put videos or to put text or anything. Everything can go on one single page. This was created with the template that we're sharing with everyone. These green headings here with introduction and objectives, that's part of the template. Learning materials is also part of the template. It brought over my instructor video just fine. I didn't have to re-add it, recreate it. It brought over my PDF file here just fine. I didn't have to re-edit, redo anything. So if you can see here, the students will have an introduction to the week with objectives. There's also topics covered. If you really don't like adding topics because you're like, oh, the objectives are fine, then just delete it. Learning materials, this is where you would put any links to any files that the students need, whether it's articles, PowerPoints, a link to slides from a different tool like Pear Deck or Mentimeter or whatever, any videos that they need, You can also put optional materials here. I think Amber from nursing said that sometimes in the nursing classes, they have some optional materials for students. And so you can just create another little heading here that says optional materials and then put those underneath. That is in the template, but I created this class earlier. We have a little bit of an updated template. And then underneath that, we have activities. And this is where I list the discussions for the week. I can even link, all assignments can be linked on one page. So if the students click here, they're going to go directly to the quiz and be able to take the quiz. This will take them right to the first week's introduction. This will take them right to the introductions discussion as well. So every single thing can be linked on this one single page. So what do you think about that?
That's cool.
How does it feel for you as a faculty member? Does it feel like it's something scary, something? Yeah, Mary Beth says it's a lot easier. It's very nicely organized for the students. The thing is there's no real question of how to navigate because it's all there for them in one spot. And I don't want to say it's pretty, but I wanted to say it's pretty, you know? It's just not messy. Granted, faculty can make Canvas messy. They can, okay? But like Peg said, if you use this template, oh my gosh, all you have to do is just dump stuff. Just dump stuff in and it's just nice and clean. I like pictures. So I add pictures to the top of my template. Olympia asked for discussions. Yep, I will take you there. So what in Pages, Michelle, let me close this. In Pages, so Blackboard brought a lot of these over for me, okay? But I just had to do cleanup. So here's an example. See how it brought these over? All of my optional videos, which was an item in my Blackboard. So I had a folder, and then one of my items was called optional videos. So it made that item into its own page. So this I have to clean up still and move to, like, optional videos for 2 are my optional videos for week 2, for week 3, week 4, etc. So I just have to move those. So whatever Blackboard does, it will create pages for you from your various items in Blackboard, and clicking the Pages button will take you to, first it will show you your home page, but then if you click View All Pages, which is a step I had to learn the hard way when I first learned Canvas. I didn't know how to do it, so that will show you all of your pages. And so each of these, so down here are my actual ones that I would be using. So this is the week 1 through week 15 overview, which is what the template is. And I just have to move stuff around. I only got through like 4 weeks in this class. Peg was also helping me modify some of these modules. I'm going to see if anybody had another question. Yeah, Peg said you can use the three vertical dots. I told you, remember, anytime you see these dots, you have options. Okay, that doesn't have a lot of options in it. You can duplicate, you can copy it. Canvas Commons allows you to share things. So programs, if you have programs and you share a lot of stuff, okay, you can share that stuff to the Commons and it can be discoverable by your peers. I think it's actually discoverable by anyone. Isn't that right, Micah? I don't think we can limit it to.
You can limit it to the institution. So you could say,
good.
I want this to only be shareable within Rush. And quite frankly, you can even create a more granular approach to that. And we can, as an admin, go in and create like an individual space for each college or even each program. And then you could limit it to just sharing it with that program or college, or you could do it to the public with everybody.
Right. So Commons is something really wonderful. And I would encourage, once we kind of get into Canvas and get used to things, I would encourage sharing. Because why recreate the wheel if someone has created this wonderful page or this wonderful activity and other people can benefit from it at Rush? Consider sharing that kind of thing. So that's pages. Someone asked about discussions. Now, this is a personal preference about whether or not you want to make the discussions link visible to students or not. Right now it's not, but all I have to do is make it visible. I can make it visible to students in the settings. I usually do have my discussions tab visible to students instead of making them go through the modules, but it's up to you. But this is what discussions look like. It's very kind of plain Jane-ish. If I open up the discussion, this is where I put my prompts, instructions. You can, if you want to, you can have a video up here that can be part of the prompt. So if you want the students to watch a procedure or something like that, or an interview, a sample, what do you want to call it? Like when a doctor first meets a patient and they're doing like an intake or whatever, if anything can be put in this prompt, because the Wysiwyg Editor, which stands for what you see is what you get in Canvas, is very, very powerful and it's everywhere. That's what this is here. All these buttons mean something different. I'm not going to get into it, but if you put your mouse over it, it'll tell you what it's for. Okay, so alignment, all different kinds of fun stuff. This is a little the embed code toggle. Those of you in Blackboard who know how to use the embed code toggle, it's right here. It's also right here at the bottom. Right here is an accessibility checker. So you can actually click this and check how accessible whatever it is that you're doing is. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Here's, this is like, you can make it bigger or smaller. You can use this button to give you a full screen view to be able to edit this page in full screen. Up here, you have options. You can insert things, tables, a horizontal line. This is something so simple, but so cool to me. So if you're creating a page and you just want a nice visual break, you can put a horizontal line and then start your next thing. So this is so much fun to be able to play with. Okay, so you just have to come in here and play. One of the things for accessibility that I want you to keep in mind is when you are writing text, instead of changing the size of your font, use this right here, because this is accessible by screen readers. So if you choose heading 2, you're going to get a bigger font. Any questions about the Wysiwyg Editor bar? There's a lot of stuff going on here. Somebody asked about accessibility. What that means is students with any type of visual impairment or students who use screen readers to be able to access content, it will let you know. For example, like if you are using a color that is difficult for people who might have a visual impairment to be able to see that color, it will tell you that.
Oh, thank you. This is so helpful. I thought you meant whether all the links were working.
No, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this stuff we will definitely go over when you meet one-on-one with an instructional designer, or you take some of the other workshops, that we have coming up. We have so many starting this week. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But this editor shows up all sorts of places. And do you want to know what's super fun? What's super fun is this button right here. Okay. You can actually have students and yourself create videos anywhere in Canvas, right from Canvas. Okay. I'm not going to turn this on because I'd have to turn on my camera and I'm having a bad hair day. So I don't want you to see my bad hair day. Now the caveat to this is you should not use this if you have a student in your class with a visual impairment or a hearing impairment, because at this point there's not built-in closed captions, not for this tool. So for that, you'd have to use like Panopto or Microsoft Stream, and then bring those into the Canvas course because of the captions. Okay, but it's really fun. Like if I click on it, what will pop up is, do I want to drag a file from my computer or do I want to simply record? And it's going to ask me for permission. And by default, it will have my camera on, which I don't want my camera on. But down here, I can tell it, you know what, I really don't want video. I just want to record an audio recording. And then it'll start recording. I'll show you what it looks like. Hey, how you doing? It's really quick. I hit save and it pops it right in for me. And then it takes a little while to render. So if you're creating like a video and it's like several minutes long, it's going to take a little while to render. So you might want to go get yourself a cup of coffee or grab a snack and just leave this go. And it also depends on your internet speed. And so I have a bunch of people here today. My daughter learns from here and her best friend is here also learning. So my internet speeds are being taken up. And I know my aunt is streaming the Wiggles downstairs for Mason. So I'm just going to delete that, but it pops it right in and the students are able to play it and listen to it. And you can create discussions that are audio-based discussions, video-based discussions without going outside of Canvas. But again, you have to make sure you do not have a student with any disabilities first before you use that tool. So this is discussions. Down at the bottom is where you have options for discussions. You usually should have this all the time, allowing threaded replies so you can see who's posting to whom. You can also force students to post before they see everybody else's posts. You can have them graded, ungraded. You can allow liking, which is just a little thumbs up. You can create group discussions. So if you have a really, really large class, you're going to want to have group discussions, and you have to set this up in advance. You can't do this after students have already started talking. Ask me how I know that. Okay, you have to set all of this stuff up in advance. So that's what it looks like. You can make them available from and until. I never really use that stuff. And so yeah, that's how you do it. I'm just going to hit cancel because I'm not going to make any changes right now. But that's the discussion. And then for students to reply, this is really what they do. They hit the reply button. You'll see the same editor. The students have the same editor. And then when posts show up, people just reply to each other. And you have to see what it looks like for yourself. But when there's a lot of discussions going on, the button I use most often is this one, which collapses all of the threads. So you can see each student's reply and then the number of people who have replied to them. It's easier, I think. So let's pop into the grades for a moment so you can see what the grade book looks like. Right now, I don't have anybody in this class, but we will have people in this class. We're going to have city staff pop into this class and do some of the activities. The grade book is so easy to use. You can view your gradebook by all types of ways. I usually like to view my gradebook by the due date, oldest to newest. And that's just, it'll arrange it by due date. By default, the total point value is at the very, very end. Whoa, wait. So I can see, like, it brought over some really weird stuff from Blackboard. Like, so I'll have to mess with this, but the total here, I can actually move it to the front. So the students will be able to see their grade without scrolling through a lot of things. You can move things around literally by dragging and dropping them. One of my favorite parts of this gradebook is message students who. So if you have students who scored higher than 90% on an exam, you can message students who, and then it'll give you a bunch of options of what you want to do. And you can choose students who scored whatever on whatever. And so you can send one email to all those students to say, congratulations, I'm so proud of you. You did such an awesome job, et cetera, et cetera. And it in Canvas will send an individual email to all of those students, which is really, really neat. You can also message students who scored below a certain percentage or number and give them extra resources. You can message students who haven't turned in their assignment yet and it was due yesterday. And you can say, hey, I noticed you haven't turned in your assignment. What's up? What's going on? Let me know, contact me, etc. So I think it's a rather beautiful thing because everybody likes feedback. In Canvas, when you use the speed grader, the grades will come in here, or you can individually enter grades by clicking in the cells. It's kind of like Excel. You also have the option of using the word EX for excused. So if you have a student who's out due to COVID or due to a family member being sick with COVID, you can just put the word EX in there, and then that student grade will not be counted. Any questions so far about the gradebook? I can't give you a lot of options here about the gradebook because there are no students. Oh yeah, Laura, I forgot the Canvas Studio. Forgot that we have Canvas Studio. I've never had Canvas Studio. I'm so excited for all of you that you're going to have Canvas Studio. Thank you for pointing that out, not up. Okay, so far, what do you like what you're seeing? I hope you like what you're seeing. The gradebook is very simple. You can export the gradebook. I think that the grades will come over right into Colleague. I don't think that that's going to be a problem. You can also contact students directly from the gradebook by clicking their name. Also by clicking the student's name, what will pop up is a general overview of that student's performance. I can't wait to be able to show this to you once we get our fake city students in here. And hopefully like one or two of them will behave or not behave, will perform less than stellar so that we can give you an example of, it gives you stars. Oh, I think I created another course. Hold on, let me go to the dashboard and let me see. I think I created a published version, this one, right? The sample. Let's look in the sample course. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Peg. I forgot about that. Here it is. So I'm the faculty member in this city sample course, and look at my to-do list. So far, 4 people have participated in the week 1 discussion, 4 people in the introductions, and 3 people have submitted reflections. I am so thankful that you did this, Peg. So as a faculty, I could click on this, and what it's going to do is take me right to the, I participated in this. I just forgot about it. Okay, so it takes me right to the speed grader so I can see Angela Anderson's posts and grade them. Okay, so far Angela has only posted one thing, but I will use these little navigational arrows and be able to see who else has posted. And this is how you actually get through the grading in Canvas. It's super fast. Look at Minnie Mouse. So all of their posts, like once we add more posts to this, they will all show up here and we'll be able to read it. So if I go here to the grade book, that's what this little icon takes you right to the grade book. And it looks like Laura has done some stuff. So here's Laura Lewandowski. So when I click on her name, I can actually email her right here. I can see her participation level is at the moderate range, and how the page views that she has is at the moderate range, and will give you a general overview of her grade in the class. It'll tell you how many assignments she's had missing, how many assignments she's had late. You can go to analytics and we can see how Laura Lewandowski has been interacting with this particular course. So she doesn't have any course grades. So let's go to weekly online activities. So here I'm able to see on the 14th, she didn't really participate, but on the 21st, you know, she was there. So she had 14 page views, and she participated. Here we go. So I'm able to click in here and see what she was doing this particular week. And I can see specifically what pages she's clicked on. Pretty cool, huh? I think you're really going to like this. I really do. So as you can see, I have some things that I still need to grade. And that's what it looks like in the grade book when people have turned things in until you grade them. Any questions so far about what I've shown you? Yes, Julianne, it shows all of the responses to their peer posts too, with dates. And if they post late, it will tell you at the very top that they're late. Okay. Let's go back to the city sample course. So I showed you, so assignments, this is where you create assignments, and the assignments will populate the syllabus, which I'll show you in a second. Right now, these are all of the assignments that I have in the course with due dates. Like obviously I have to update these due dates with their points. This all came over from Blackboard. This is exactly what it came over as. So it's really pretty much perfect. I would just have to change the due dates. Here's something so awesome about Canvas. When you teach your class a second time in Canvas, when you copy it over, it will say, do you want to adjust the due dates? And so it puts in for you the day that the class started the last time, and then you tell it the day the class starts the next time, the day the class ends the first time, the day the class ends the last time, and it recalculates every single due date for you automatically. You do not have to change a due date on anything unless you need to change a due date. It just knows, like, oh yeah, the first week on Thursday, your discussion's due, on Sunday, your assignment's due, et cetera, et cetera. It just knows, and it's all automatic. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. I'm telling you. So if you need to create an assignment, that's what this is. Up here, You give the assignment a name, a description. You can use video, you can use audio, you can put YouTube stuff in here, you can put stream stuff in here, you can put Panopto stuff in here, whatever you want. It asks you how many points you want it worth. Assignment groups are it's just a way of organizing your assignments. So there's a bunch of different assignment groups that are just here, but you can create your own if you want to group your assignments or not. It'll ask how you want to display the grade. Do you want it to be points? Do you want it to be a percentage? Complete, incomplete means if they did it, they get a green check. If they didn't, they get a red X. A letter grade, or just not graded. Under here, you tell it what kind of submission type. This is so important to make sure that it's correct. So if your students are actually submitting something to you, you need to have online selected. If you are meeting face-to-face and they're turning something in the class to you, you click on paper. If they're not submitting anything and they're just getting points for something like attending a lab or I don't know, there could be a lot of things, or they're actually not submitting something, or if you have them interacting on a different tool, like I like Trello and Padlet and those types of things, that would be no submission. So they wouldn't be turning something into you. And then under here is what kind of stuff do you want them to be able to turn in? Write text. If they're doing something online elsewhere, they can give you the URL. If you want them to record a video or an audio, you click that. File uploads, you can click all four. This is probably familiar to you, the number of attempts that you allow them to do. Peer review is built in. I don't like Canvas's peer review unless it's improved in the last couple of years. It's kind of clunky to me, so I don't really like it. And then I would just use discussion boards, honestly, for that. And then this is the assigned. And as soon as you create something, it automatically goes into, those of you who are here this morning, you saw this. It goes into the course summary, which is under the syllabus area. And this gets auto-populated by all of your assignments that have due dates associated with them. This is obviously not fixed yet. I only got so far in this class, but the students can see all of these things. If you don't have the assignment available to them yet, they can still click it, but it'll say unavailable. But this gives the student a really clear overview of everything that they have to do and when, and it's nothing that you have to do. If you change a due date on something, it'll be changed in here automatically. Okay, so that's what the syllabus is, and this is where you would upload. You can put this information in here, and you can also upload a file to the syllabus. I haven't done that yet for this, but I would edit it here and then add my file. People shows you who is in the class. So if I click on people, I'm able to see who. I'm also able to see the last time they've logged in and the total activity in the class. Like I said, though, this is not really super accurate. I don't think Minnie Mouse spent 12 hours in this course. So Minnie Mouse might have logged into this course and then did some things and then left the tab open. And so it might have shown that she was still active, but she really wasn't. Files is where all of your files end up going. It's just a repository. Students should definitely not have access to this because this is just where you pull stuff from to be able to link in your modules. Outcomes is really awesome. I'm not going to get into outcomes today. It's where you can add objectives or program level outcomes, and you can associate those with assignments, activities, anything. It's amazing, and you can get all kinds of really cool data. Rubrics, this is where you create rubrics or they get added, and you can associate those with assignments really quickly and very easily. You can also use the rubrics for grading. It's so simple. The rubric will show up in SpeedGrader, and you're able to click the boxes turn green, and it's awesome. Quizzes is how you create quizzes and exams. Mine came over from Blackboard just fine. I'm not saying everybody's will, but that's how it happened. There's a lot of options in quizzes. You can create all kinds of different test questions and stuff like that. We don't recommend using conferences because we have Zoom or collaborations either. Like both of these, we have Zoom, so we really don't need that. And what Badges is pretty cool. We're hoping to be able to utilize Badges in City when we have the newest version of the OTCD course. So the online teaching and course design class. And we'd love to be able to give a badge to people who complete that and actually give a badge to the people who've already completed it in the past. It's pretty neat to be able to have that built right in.
Hey, Angela, can I butt in for just a minute?
Go right ahead. I'm actually done with my spiel. I was just going to leave time for questions, and so you're welcome to pop in.
Okay, this just came to mind because you were talking about badges. If you will click on your courses tab over there on the left and go down to all courses, and then up at the top, click on browse more courses. I don't know why it's 3 clicks deep. This is for all of you who want to jump into our Growing with Canvas. You might already be enrolled in it, but if you're not, you can just log into Canvas. Even if you don't have any courses on your dashboard, you can click on that same sequence and then click on the join this course, and it will put you in. You're seeing Angela is an admin in this account, and so she's getting all the bells and whistles. When you enroll in it, you'll be just a student, so you'll see it in the student view like she does here. And this whole course is designed to walk you step by step. It's self-paced. You don't need anybody else. It's not facilitated by an instructor or anything. You can start at any time today, right when we're done here, you can go jump in and do this. And it's got all kinds of badging connected to it. So as you get through, for instance, if you scroll down to the bottom of the first module, they're planting one, you'll see that there's a planting badge earned option. And all you have to do to get that badge is just to complete all the components in that module, in module 1, and then it'll give you a badge, and then you can go to 2. And the first 3 modules, along with the introduction, are really going to be the fundamentals that you need to know to get you about 90% of the way there. The last 2 are good, but not as critical. And anyway, you can go through it at your own pace, like we said. It's another great way to learn some of the content that we're covering. And it's got access to a lot of the Canvas guides and other resources built right into it. And just one more way to increase your understanding of how things work.
Yeah, and see the prerequisites, they have them set up here. So the person to be able to open flowering needs to be able to complete sprouting. So you can see that in actual use right here. Thank you, Micah. So I'm going to stop sharing now and wonder if anybody has any questions, any comments, any reactions that they would like to share.
The last question that just came in is the question about when are we going to have access to play around in Canvas? You should have access now. If you don't, we can remedy that, but there's no reason to not have access. So we'd love to provide that to you. And actually, that link that you
Is it that one?
No, there's actually, so here's something that needs to be really clear. And this is something we've just discovered in the last 24 hours. There's 2 ways to get into Instructure. The link is rush.instructure.com, but there's a specific link that we're distributing that helps route you through the single sign-on.
Oh.
And that link there will take you right to the Canvas login page, which doesn't utilize the single sign-on. And so it will reject you and say, oh, you don't have access to this, or we don't have an account for you. But the one that has the SAML at the end of the link that Anna sent out, I don't know if she sent it out to everybody, but I'm gonna post it.
Can you look that up real quick and post it for everyone?
Yep.
That way they have the correct one. Hey, Peg, I think we used that one because we were part of like the initial group of people, but then once single sign-on started, it's slightly different. So there it
And
goes.
it's important when—
Thank you, Scott.
All right, Scott's got it.
Scott's got it right there. So you definitely want to bookmark that or save it as
That's it.
one of your special bookmarks on, if you use Chrome, it should make it a bookmark that you can just click to it right away.
We should also, we'll have it forward from the other one or set it up on the portal to make it easier to find.
Yeah, so the Canvas website, the info hub, has a couple of places that I've put it in there that you can just go to the website and click on the link.
Can you share
and
that
it
link?
will
in the
take
chat?
you. Yep, I'll put that in there too.
And that's where you can see the upcoming trainings. We have a lot going on, and the links to the recordings will be available both on our YouTube as well as on that site right there that Micah just shared.
So if you click on that link I just posted, at the very top, there's a click here to log into Canvas, and that will take you to the right place utilizing the single sign-on. If you click on a link that takes you to an Instructure login that doesn't look like the typical Rush single sign-on page, the green box in the middle, the Instructure page will have a Canvas logo and it'll say, hey, log into Canvas. That won't work and you're not in the right place. And that doesn't mean that things won't work for you. That just means you're in the wrong approach to logging in, and you'll want to make sure that you're going through the proper channels.
Hey, Barbara. Barbara asked a really great question about getting a sandbox. And so if you would like to get a sandbox, please reach out to City, either an instructional designer directly or City CTEI at rush.edu. And if you can meet with an instructional designer, or even Matt West will be able to create you a sandbox. And you'll be able to play in that and be able to just practice doing things like that. Yeah, sandboxes are good. People who are in the summer pilot should already actually have their courses pulled over from Blackboard.
And
Paula,
the pilot faculty already have a sandbox as well. Those have already been created for all the pilot faculty.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely, if you have a sandbox, import one of your Blackboard courses over. And so if you end up wanting to have a sandbox for, let's say you have 3 courses that you'd like to just pull over and see how it goes, if you work with an instructional designer, they can also maybe make it a master version that you're doing all of your fluffing and folding in the master version in Canvas that you later copy over into once Colleague populates it. So let's say if you're going to be teaching in Canvas in the fall, Colleague will pull your course over and you'll be able to just copy what you've done in that master version into the actual version that will go live. Anyone else have any questions or comments, anything they'd like to say? I'm really glad so many of you came to this today. I hope it got you actually kind of excited about what's to come. I think the students are going to be really happy.
It's refreshing to see people saying, yay, I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I love it. You are so welcome, everyone. If you don't have a question, feel free to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I think it looks pretty sunny and nice outside, maybe a lot of windy. Hold on to your hair. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here today.